Get ready for easy and affordable DIY Dollar Tree coffee bar decor. They'll give you a smile in the morning, right along with that morning jolt of caffeine to get you going. And as always, DIY treats. Welcome to my channel, Craft, Eat, Repeat. Hi guys, it's Aneka and welcome to my channel, Craft, Eat, Repeat. So today I have some DIYs for you and they involve one of my very favorite things in the world, especially in the morning, and that's coffee. So let me draw your attention to this beauty that my oldest daughter drew at school. When I am 100 years old, I'm going to take pills in the morning and drink coffee. Okay, so just for the record, those pills are multivitamins, but she's totally right about the coffee. I absolutely love it. So I wanted to come up with some DIYs to make kind of like a little coffee bar. So I hope you enjoy it. Now, the first DIY that I have for you was not my own creation. I got this idea from Rosemary over at Fab Packs. I think she is amazing. I love this DIY and wanted to make it for my house, so I'm showing it to you, but you guys should definitely head over to her channel and check her out. I'll make sure to link her down below. If you're new to my channel, welcome. Thanks so much for stopping by. If you like what you see, please consider going ahead and subscribing. Everybody hit that notification bell so you'll be ready when my next video comes out. And after this is done, guys, head down to the comments and tell me which one was your favorite. And what's your morning routine? Do you drink coffee like me to get going, or do you have something else that wakes you up? Okay, guys, it's time to craft. So I'm starting with this 36-inch square poplar dowel. I got it from Lowe's and had them cut it down to 25 inches. I used some sandpaper just to make sure the edges were nice and smooth. Next, I need to mark off where I'm going to put my letters. So I'm going to put one at the 1-inch mark, the 4-inch mark, the 5-inch mark, the 8-inch mark, 9 inches, 13, 17, and 21. Next, I'm going to grab my package of paper straws from Dollar Tree. Make sure you get the pack of 18 because some of the packs only have 12. Now I'm going to make my letters. I'm going to show you how I make the first one, and then I'll put the measurements for the rest down in the description box below. So for my C, I need 1 full straw. I know you see 2 here. I end up moving that later, but I need 1 full straw, and then I'm going to cut another straw down to size to create the different sides of the C. So I need 2 that are 1 inch long, and then this is the same for the O. I'm cutting 3-inch pieces, but I'll need to trim those down a little as I go along, and I'll show you how I do that. So I'm going to cut the pieces for the rest of my letters, and like I said, check down in the description box and I'll give you all the measurements. Next, I'm going to use some screws, and this is going to be how my letters are going to sit on my dowel. So I'm going to put 1 long screw at the 1-inch mark, and I will also give you the measurements that you need for this, but you need 1 smaller screw, and that is going to be at the 4-inch mark. Now the rest of our marks are going to get a screw, and those will all be the taller screws. Once I have them all attached, I'm ready to make my letters. I'm going to start out by making the F's and the E's. They're pretty similar. I'm going to take my longer straw and I'm just going to glue on the shorter pieces. So the longer piece of the F will go on top. I'll just hold that on while the hot glue cools down a little bit. And then my shorter piece goes just underneath. Now I kind of eyeballed where I wanted this to go, but then when I made my other pieces, I lined it up to this first F to make sure that all of my F's and E's looked very similar. I did this twice so that I would have 2 F's. Next, I did a similar process to make my E's. I put my longer cut piece right on the top. I put a longer cut piece on the bottom. And then I lined up my centerpiece to make sure that it looked right next to my F's. I just marked off where I needed it to go, put a little dab of hot glue, and attached that smaller cut piece in the right spot. Now, I did find that laying the letter on the table did help to make sure that my pieces were nice and flat as my hot glue was cooling off. And now I have my F's and my E's to spell out my coffee. So when Rosemary over at FabTax did this, she used caulk to attach the pieces. I opted to use hot glue, and I will tell you, if you use caulk, you have much more margin to adjust the letters if you need it. I didn't have any, so I went with hot glue, and you pretty much have to get it where you want it to go right away. The glue cools down very quickly, and after that you are not able to really move your letter. So if you're going to use this method with the hot glue, make sure that you're working quickly and that you're ready to get your pieces right on there as soon as you put the glue on. Next, we're ready to put on our O and our C. I'm going to start out by doing the O. So on my 2 screws that I have, I'm going to put my full straws. And now here are these 3-inch pieces. Now I realized after I put them on that it's not exactly 3 inches between, because you have to account for the width of the screw and the straw that's on there. So what I did was I just lined it up, marked off the little bit that I needed to cut off, and then I was able to just slide it right in. And if you want, you can trim up your other 3-inch pieces at the same time so you don't have to measure them out each time. And that seemed to work really nicely and get it just where I needed it to go. Now I'm going to do a similar process with my C. So I'm going to put my full straw right on that taller screw. The shorter screw is going to get one of the 1-inch pieces that I cut for my C. And now I need to do that same process where I take one of my 3-inch pieces and cut it down to size so that it can fit in between. Now for the top of my C, I realized after I made this, it probably would have been easier to attach the 1-inch piece to the 3-inch piece before gluing it on, but you know, hindsight's 20/20. That's part of the fun of crafting. You learn as you go. So I attached my 3-inch piece, or slightly less than 3-inch, because I did cut it down to match the bottom piece, and then I added my 1-inch piece on the end, and that made my C. Once I had my word spelled out, I sprayed it with black spray paint, and I absolutely love how this came out. Because I use gloss black spray paint, it looks just like metal, and I just love the little touch this adds to my coffee bar. Next, I'm going to do my take on the pizza pan decor, but this time I'm going to do it for coffee. So I'm going to use white chalk paint, and I'm just going to paint all over the pizza pan. Next, I printed out some words that I thought would be cute on a coffee bar. I'll be sure to link those below in case you want to use this saying, but really you can use whichever one you wanted. Now, because I don't have a vinyl cutter like a Cricut or anything like that, I'm going to use the pencil transfer method. So I printed out my words, colored with pencil on the back, and then I taped them down onto my pizza pan exactly where I wanted them to go. I made sure to use a ruler to make sure that they were even and centered on my pizza pan before I started taping and tracing. Once I had that done, I used a pen and I just traced all along the outside of my lettering. And what this is going to do is leave an outline so that I can paint it afterwards. And you guys, in the absence of having a vinyl cutter, this is an amazing way that you can do beautiful lettering on whatever project you want and not have to look at your own sloppy handwriting if yours is anything like mine. So once I had my outline done, I just grabbed a paint pen and I traced along all my letters until my pizza pan had the design that I wanted on it. Once I had my lettering finished, I decided to use these beads instead of the nautical rope that I've seen on a lot of these projects. I thought it had a little bit of a look like the bead garlands that I've seen going around, and I liked the natural look of it. So I decided to use my hot glue gun and I just glued these beads all around the perimeter of my pizza pan. Now, I got these out of a pack of beads that I got from Michael's. It was $9, and then I had a 40% off coupon, and this is not even a quarter of the beads in the pack. So this is a really affordable way to add a little touch to your pizza pan. Now, once I got to the bottom, I could not fit the beads just perfectly, so I took a few of the last few out and just moved them a little bit further apart so that it looked like they were all the same distance. Next, I grabbed a bow, and this is just a bow that I had from a previous project. I am not awesome at bows, but I intend to get better. And I just love the way this came out. It was simple to do, and it just looks perfect on my coffee bar. So my last DIY is super simple, but I think adds a little personality to my coffee bar. I got these coasters from Dollar Tree and I decided to paint them white, black, green, and one was brown. Now, after I painted these with chalk paint, I had to do 3 or 4 coats to make sure that I could not see the lettering underneath. Next, I did the same technique that I did with my pizza pan. I found some sayings that I liked, used a pencil to color the back, taped it on to my coasters, traced it, and then I just went back through with a paint pen and put my sayings right on there. After my paint pen was dry, I used the hard coat Mod Podge because I will be putting cups with liquid on it and I wanted to seal it just a little bit, and that was it. Now for mine, I used puns with little musical coffee references, and I just think these will give me a little smile in the morning, and I absolutely love them. All right guys, which one of those was your favorite? Make sure to head down to the comments and let me know. So for those of you who want some super intense coffee action, even when it's not the morning, I have some espresso infused brownies for you with coffee icing on top. So these are not for the faint of heart, but I think they're delicious and I hope you will too. Okay guys, it's time to eat. These are quick and easy and I absolutely love them. To make them quick, I'm just using this box brownie mix and I'm following the directions on the back, and I'm going to add some of this instant espresso. So I just add my mix, my oil, my water, and my egg. Next, you're going to add 1 to 2 tablespoons of espresso in. That's about one of these little packages, but make sure that you don't put too much. Next, I decided to make these into little mini muffins. You can of course just make regular brownies and cut them up. That would taste delicious too. So I'm adding them to my sprayed pan and popping them into the oven. Now you can make homemade buttercream if you'd like, but I'm just using this canned stuff and some more of this instant coffee. I'm adding some sprinkles of just the coffee granules in there because I like the speckled look. You can skip this step. It definitely adds some intense flavor, and if it's too much for you, then skip that step. This step you're not going to want to skip. I'm adding just about a tablespoon of heavy whipping cream, and I'm going to dissolve some of my instant coffee into that. I'm going to just mix it around until it's nice and dissolved. Once that's completely dissolved, I'm just going to add it into my icing. Now this does make it a slightly more runny, so make sure you don't use too much. Of course, you can always adjust to what you want, and if you make your own buttercream, then it doesn't really affect the texture at all because you're controlling for the liquid as you go. Now for this, I just kind of taste it and see if it has enough of that coffee flavor, and you can just go with your gut on this one. Whatever tastes good to you, that's what you should do. I just used a Ziploc bag with a little hole cut into the bottom to pipe my icing right on top of my espresso brownies, and that was it. These are delicious, and the coffee lover in your life will love them. Now, lucky for me, the coffee lover in my life is myself, and I was in heaven making this video for you guys. I hope you enjoyed these DIYs. Don't forget to head down to the comments and let me know which one was your favorite and how you wake up in the morning. And if you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up. It helps my channel out so much, and I appreciate each and every one of you for your support. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next week when we repeat it all again.